In terms of accommodation, there has been, of course, rumors that some of our guests are going to stay out of this country. I think that's not only fallacious, but it's laughable. We already have more base space than we can even utilize. The only issue we have is the parking of aircrafts. Our airport cannot handle more than 15 aircrafts at any given time. In terms of transportation, I want to tell you currently we have well over 400 vehicles parked at the GCCI Trade Fair Center. Gambia government has bought 100 brand new SUVs and Mercedes Benz.
For the second session of the press conference, this is organized by the Minister of Information. As you could see, it's now becoming a usual event where the minister would call media houses to come and then have a briefing with the heads of ministries as although it's becoming a partnership. So before I go further, I would like to seek here the Honorable Minister of Transport and Infrastructure in our Chula, and also we have the CEO of the OIC Secretariat, and also Fadi Padel in our midst. And every minister, Ismail Sise also is here with me, and as well as everyone here.
As part of our bi-weekly press briefing, we want to start a culture press 2 weeks, update on key government projects, priorities and activities, but also to deal with emerging and current issues. The idea is that every 2 weeks we are bringing at least 2 or 3 ministers from the technical ministry to come and give updates of what the ministers are doing, but also to give you the opportunity to ask questions that you think might be relevant for public information. The format of today's press conference will be like this. We will give the Honorable Minister of Works, Infrastructure, 15 minutes to give his update. Then we'll give Mr. Yankubadiba, the CEO of the OIC Secretariat, to also give update on the state of preparedness for the upcoming OIC summit, which is slated to take place on the 4th and 5th of May 2024. That is almost 5-6 days to go. So they've done a fantastic job. We should thank them for that. So we'll give them the opportunity to also give updates and tell you about the state of preparedness. Then after which now we'll open the floor for questions and answers from the members of the press. Thank you very much. So to start with, we'll call on Honorable Minister of Works, Mr. Ibrahim Astila, to give his updates. After which we'll allow Mr. Batiba, and then now we'll go for Q&A. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister of Information, for this invitation, and also to thank you most profoundly for the wonderful efforts that you are doing in ensuring that the media is fully briefed about issues happening in the country, and by extension, feeding the general public with the developments in the country. At the level of the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, as you know, it's a very big ministry, and we start with the road infrastructure projects. Starting first with the Battle Harding Highway, the famous Battle Harding Highway, which is about 20 kilometers. Right now, the asphalting is almost near completion all the way to Steam Corner at the Gambia Junction, from Yundum all the way to the Gambia Junction. It will be fully asphalted by the time the conference kicks off. And also, the fourth phase of the project is within target, which is to ensure that double layer asphalt is laid all the way from the airport junction in Yundu to the Senegambia junction. This has in fact been completed. What they are doing now is to fix the railings on either side of the road and also to do the route markings. This is commendable, knowing that it is a huge project being built in a heavily condensed urban community. Now, the second phase of the project, as you know, was to start the first layer of asphalt from Airport Junction to the Kairaba Avenue, what we used to call traffic light. But happily, I have the pleasure to announce that the contractors are well ahead of schedule, and they have laid asphalt far beyond traffic light, and then we are now about to reach the Radio Gambia Junction. So lights have also been fixed, and then also, which is of course the solar lights have been fixed on the road. And by August, which is the last, month of the contract for battery hydrogen phase 1 and 2, asphalting will be done, double layer asphalting will be done from end to end, and also markings on the road will be completed, markings will be done, and then also all the roads will be fixed with solar light. Now, within the scope of the organization of the OIC also, we completed the construction of the VVIP, and it is now being fully used. Also, the 20 kilometers of the inside roads. As you know, we are constructing a lot of roads in different 50 kilometers of roads. Yes, 50 kilometers, not 20 kilometers. 50 kilometers of roads being built within the Greater Banjul area, mainly the KMCs and some parts of the West Coast that are closer to the conference activities. Substantial progress has been made in that area also. The new target, we finalized agreements with the Saudi fund, which is working with the government on this particular stretch of roads to give extension for the contractors to finalize. And the reason for this is that, building a road in a heavily built community is extremely very challenging. In addition to services, and when we say services here, we mean water, electricity, and telecom services. We also have, narrow roads that have to be demolished, and then also to give right-of-way access to the contractors. I'm happy to announce that almost on all fronts, demolitions have been completed. Almost 80% of the relocation services have also been completed. In all the existing roads where the contractors are working, relocations have been completed, and now they have full access to the roads, and they are making tremendous progress, as you can see. Beyond the OIC, which is, of course, a very strong preoccupation of the government, we are also building more than 600 kilometers of roads across the Gambia. You know that last year we signed the EPC project. EPC means Engineering, Procurement, and Construction Projects, 365 kilometers across the country. But in addition to that, we have existing projects like the Hakalang, which is 84 kilometers, and then the Kiang West Road, which is 87 kilometers. And then also we have the Jambur Fara to about 5 kilometers. We also have Kerawan to Njawara, which is completed about 11 kilometers. And then from Jabakunda going all the way to Salkenye Bani, which is about 16 kilometers also. Then we have the Tujereng, Banyakang, Mariamakunda to Brufut, which is additional 21 kilometers. That is also near completion. So overall, we're making tremendous progress in those fronts. In most of the new projects that we've signed, progress is beyond 40%. In exceptional cases where the contractor is concentrating on the multiple fronts, I can tell you that the project's scope is beyond 20% of implementation so far. Now, the famous Hakalang, for your information, is set to be finalized this year, and that one is also asphalt. It's one of the first-class roads we have in that part of the country, for a very good reason, because the water table in the Nyomis is extremely very high. So building a high-quality road that will withstand the test of time is critical for government's infrastructure outlay programs. Now, under the other schemes within the sector, we have also the Gambia Ports Authority, where we are finalizing the negotiations for the signing of the contract for the concessionaire to work with the government of the Gambia for the operation of the Gambia Port of Banjul and to build a deep sea port in Sanyang. Hopefully, before the end of this month or the first week of May, the contract signing will be triggered. And we are working with a reputable transactional advisory firm based in the Netherlands and some of the offices in the UK and other parts of the world that is working with the government and advising us on critical decision-taking measures. And this firm has worked with more than 10 countries for the concessioning of their port facilities. On the side of the ferry, which of course has preoccupied a lot of news airwaves and also news pages, I can tell you happily that the engineers are seized, working spiritedly across the week to ensure that Kunta Kinte is slipped from the shipyard to start the essential operations on the route. We will inform the public accordingly, but we are hopeful that by the weekend, they will do the first test run to determine all the technical issues, and the new engines would have been fixed by the time we start the test runs. Now, in the area of transport, for the information of the media, the Gambia government, through the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, has actually got support from the African Development Bank to do a feasibility study on the process for what we call a transmodal system in this country, where you can have the train, the trams, the BTR system that most of you probably who have been to Dakar have seen it, and also normal transport system within one. So that policy, we've drafted the draft TOR, and we are awaiting the final approval from the African Development Bank so that we can roll this out, and that will actually transform the transport subsector of this country. I think the missing link has been this type of policy. So we are very much ahead of that. Also, the famous Banjul Bara, for the information, the feasibility studies have started. The Gambia government is working with ECOWAS on this very important project, and we will continue to update the public through you, the media, to inform you on the necessary progress regarding this very important undertaking of the government of the Gambia. So, Honorable Minister, I want to take this opportunity to thank you once again. In summary, within the sector, this is what we are doing, and we are also working with the the third phase of the battle hardening. We have just finalized a document submitted to the Islamic Development Bank that will fund the side roads, also the pedestrian bridges, as well as other critical areas that are to be added to the battle hardening, including a possible overhead bridge at the Sukuta Jabang intersection, and also some additional roundabouts on that stretch of very important road. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, apologies, mea culpa. Multitasking on a Monday morning is not easy, so you have to be here. Thank you, Honorable Minister of Information. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Work, and PS Saidi, DPS Kinte, CEO of OIC Secretariat. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for having us here. And Honorable Minister, you outlined what government is doing in terms of road infrastructure, and then you see that the road is the foundation. Build it and it will come. And then the good thing about Gambia is we are leapfrogging. You know, we are not following the linear development of the West. You know, we are having one of the modern roads using the latest technology. And talking about the transport, just like the energy mix we also have transport mix, rail, you know, BRT and others. Hopefully, we're talking about in Germany and in Saudi Arabia, we're talking about, you know, fluke taxis, with air taxis, having, you know, flying. So maybe we also add that one. We should be thinking, you know, in the future. Thank you very much. Without wasting your time, I'd like to invite the CEO of the OIC Secretariat, Mr. Yankuba Diba, to update us on the activities relating to this important summit this week. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Honorable Sise, Dr. Sise. Good morning, Honorable Minister Silla, PS, Deputy PS, Government Spokesperson, my colleague, Mr. Fali Fadera, the press, our very important partners. I am pleased to be here today and on the eve of the much anticipated summit of 57 heads of state, which is about to happen later this week. I would like to start by supplementing what the Honorable Minister said about infrastructure. Most of you know that the Secretariat has actually been in operation for over 5 years. The first 3 or 4 years have been dedicated to infrastructure development. We have partnered with the Ministry of Works and various other ministries in terms of infrastructure. The minister actually talked about the battle hardening, which was chosen particularly to be able to link the airport with places for accommodation. We have actually indicated that whole area as the OIC impact zone. The OIC impact zone, you know, starts all the way from the airport to somewhere around Cape. Within this area, there has been deliberate efforts to augment the infrastructure. Of course, some of the interventions go nationwide. Among the things that we have actually put in place, we all know the conference center, which was built at the tune of 50 million, and there's a grant from the People's Republic of China. It's up and running. We've given a grant of $32.5 million to NAWEC to improve the transmission of water and electricity. This is an ongoing project. Of course, it's not complete, just like some of our roads projects. The minister talked about the 50-kilometer, which spans over 20 roads spread across the metropolis. Of course, we also have the battle hardening. In addition to that, of course, accommodation was one of the strategic projects that we had, which of course is behind schedule. However, I would like to inform the Gambian population through you that we are 100% prepared to host this summit. The summit is taking place over 6 days period. 30th and the 30th of April, 1st of May is the senior officers meeting, which comprises ambassadors and senior state officials. The second meeting is on the 2nd and 3rd, which will be the ministerial council meeting. And this involves all the 57 ministers of affairs from the 57 member countries. The last 2 days are the 4th and 5th, which is the meeting of heads of state. I want to tell you that this is a governmental activity. The OIC International is organizing it. I want to stress this. OIC International is organizing it. The Gambia is hosting it. The Gambia is a host and is a member of the 57 countries. I'm stressing this point because a lot of people think this is an open kind of meeting where you give out invitations. I want you to clarify this to your readership and your listenership. that this is not open to the public. It is an intergovernmental meeting which is only dedicated to the government agencies, and not even all the government agencies. Government's representation is 1+4. Every government is represented by a head of state and 4 other senior officials. Outside that, no other person. But as host country, we might accommodate a few invitations for the opening ceremony. But throughout the 6 days, it's business, business, business. So I want this to be very, very clear. Over the years, by statute, we were constituted, and then we have organs. Apart from the secretariat, which runs the affairs of the OIC, we also have different committees. We have 9 standing committees from media, accommodation, transport, protocol, documentation, and the list goes on. These committees were set up to assist the Secretariat in planning and implementing activities that would enhance the smooth implementation of the summit. So currently, all these committees have been working very, very hard. And one thing also I want to stress, because the Gambia government is the host, not a single butut is coming from outside to fund this summit. This summit is 100% funded by the government of the Gambia. And I want this to go on record. Currently, Gambia government has within this year given us well over 400 million to be able to organize this summit. In terms of accommodation, there has been, of course, rumors that some of our guests are going to stay out of this country. I think that's not only fallacious, but it's laughable. We already have more bed space than we can even utilize. Even if we were to receive 5,000 guests in this country, we can comfortably house them, even without the 5-star hotel. Currently, we even have a problem. We can't utilize all the space we have. So I want this to be very, very, very clear that we have adequate space here. The only issue we have is the parking of aircrafts. Our airport cannot handle more than 15 aircrafts at any given time. Plus, there are normal scheduled flights. Therefore, under our cooperation with Senegal, Senegal has been able to graciously permit us to use Yoff Airport as a parking for those heads of state who might want to stay longer. But otherwise, the Gambia has enough space, to handle all the aircrafts coming. In fact, I'm pleased to announce that the first arrival of aircrafts is today arriving from Saudi. It's a 350-seater plane, which is bringing in over 300 delegates today, this evening. And then the Secretary General of the OIC is actually in that plane coming. In terms of transportation, I want to tell you currently we have well over 400 vehicles parked at the GCCI Trade Fair Center. Gambia government has bought 100 brand new SUVs and Mercedes Benz. That is enough to cater for all our heads of states. In addition, a friendly country has also given us 100 vehicles. They are all parked at the GCCI. Thirdly, the Gambia government has given us over almost 100 million to rent vehicles. So we have additional 100 vehicles, including baggage trucks, pickup trucks, ambulances. They are all parked at GCCI. If the press wants to see, you are invited. You can go there from here. You can go and verify for yourselves. So we do not have any shortage as far as transportation is concerned. In line with our trademark hospitality, the MOU we have signed with the OIC International is 1+5. But I wish to also tell you that we are in a position, we have planned, we have the money, we have outsourced catering to feed all our delegates. Any delegate that is coming in this country, we have enough food to feed all of them, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we have no issues with regards to feeding, no issues with regards to transportation, no issues with regards to accommodation. So far, this is the update. As I said, we are ready. And of course, challenges are here and there, but we have surmounted all the challenges. We do not have at the moment anything that could affect the smooth running of this summit. I think, Honorable Minister, so far these are the highlights. I would pause. If you have any information or anything to ask, we are ready to provide you all the answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, CEO, for that elaborate update. I would like to also acknowledge the presence of my brother, Mr. Mpali Fadera, Head of Branding and Communication at ICT. As the famous poet, Paul Coelho said in his work, Alchemist, don't waste your time with explanations. People will only hear what they want to hear. But we still have, as a government, we have a responsibility to explain. There are many versions to a story. As you say, we had all those kind of, interesting stories of, guests landing. So it's all part of the show. But this is very important. It's testing us. As a small country, we have the capacities. I think this is an opportunity for Gambians to be proud that, we put our country, our entire public infrastructure through a shock therapy, and to show that, we can host the world. And this is good. And then the corollary benefits, the OIC impact I talk about, that's just the beginning. The corollary, the values of all the properties along this side have gone up. Citizens are benefiting. The construction phase was just challenging, but at the end of the day, they say that, if you want to eat pepper, you have to be ready to stand the heat. So, and at the end of the day, is the benefits, the long-term benefit is what is important. Don't the one week, but the corollary effects, that every Gambia is going to benefit. Thank you. And now we open to some questions. Like I say, we are here to update. We may not have time to answer all the questions. Give chance to others. If you have 2 questions, fine. Like I say, we are an open government. We can always ask subsequent question, and there's nothing wrong because we are guided by authenticity and then fallibility as human beings. So we might not be able to have answers to all the questions. So there's nothing wrong for someone to say, I don't have all the details. You can always follow up. You can contact the ministry. You can contact the spokesperson. The director of OIC branding is here. Minister is here. You can always give you follow-up questions with answers. So you introduce yourself and then.
My name is, okay. You take it source from GRTS. You don't use the mic, we won't get the question. So we have to move the mic.
Okay.
You can come over here.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay, all right. So I